Hello, good evening to all,
Good
and
evening.
warm welcome to my friends Indukant Angirasji and Kirti Raval. Friends, today we are going to continue our journey from where we left yesterday. Oh, before we move on, I would like both of the participants who are live with me to summarize their experience and expectation for the this episode. Over to Kirti Raval.
I think I'm facing a connectivity issue.
No, your voice is coming.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. You can speak. Your voice is
Okay.
clear.
G, can you just tell what you said before because I couldn't hear.
Okay, Indukantji, can you please summarize what we learned yesterday and then set the ball rolling for today?
Yeah, yesterday
Thank
there was
you.
the inaugural session of this Build Your Website series, and Mr. Satyaprakash Nigam, who is a software engineer, he gave an introduction in the first episode about what is www, what is World Wide Web, what is Internet, what is IP address, what is a website. He gave a he just explained in the basic terms of the related to the website building. So it was a nice session, and Mr. Kirti Raval was also joined us yesterday also. Today also he is
Yes.
here, so it is nice, and he has
Mhm.
yeah. So that was my feedback for since yesterday, and I propose that a small quiz can be organized in the end of the each session. Maybe today's session, which can cover both yesterday's and today's, but like that. So quizzes are very important so that it will help to the students, to learners, to get involved in the learning process.
Thank you very much,
Yeah, thank you.
Indukantji.
Yeah.
So let us move on now. And today we are going to dig a bit more and we will prepare basically ourselves to join this journey successfully. So, yesterday we got ourselves exposed to certain basic terminology, the concepts and principle. Today also we are going to continue that journey. We will try to delve into more into what is a website, how it is developed, where it is stays, and how we access a website. Uh, Technical nuances will start next week onwards. And when I say technical nuances, as I promised in the beginning of this series, that yes, there will be technical nuances, but you need not be technically literate for that. So we will be using the tools and technology without knowing, without having the expectation that you should know something. No. You need not know anything. You will know only when you are using it, and you will only know. You will be only exposed to the extent which is required for this exercise. It means I have a tool and I know how to use it to meet my objective. Let us not go into the detail of the tools. So, with this context, we are starting our journey today, next 10 minutes. Now, what we learned yesterday? We knew about what is www, or internet, what is a domain, what is domain name server or DNS, what is server itself, what is browser, address, and blah blah. Now, our journey starts with when we look into all this terminology bit more. So, I will try my best to give the analogy from our day-to-day life. So, what is a website? What a website is composed of? So, basically, for this course, for this journey, we only need two things. You need to understand. We need something called HTML. The analogy is house frame. So we raise the pillars, frames, process and so many things will happen when we are building our house. So HTML is like a framework of the house. It doesn't have any curtain, it doesn't have the windows, it doesn't have anything, but it is a skeletal structure is ready. In human body, the most important system is a skeletal system. Same thing in for any website, the basic framework is HTML. And then we love, as a human being, we love and tend to appreciate the beauty. So that beautification happens via CSS. So again, we are not going into detail of all those things. Yes, we will use it, and we will use it only we will know how to use it. That's all. And then the third thing is so house frame is ready. We have used CSS to decorate it. Now it's a lovely house as we are seeing in the rightmost figure. And now what is the purpose of the house? You have to live it. It's my house. I'm going to live. It's your house. You and your family is going to live. So those what is inside the website is known as content. Placeholder is HTML. Contents are what we are going to show you in the website, and how we are going to show is taken care by the CSS.
What is
Now,
the full form of? There were two abbreviations in the last slide,
yeah,
HTML and CSS. What is the full form?
hypertext, yeah, hypertext markup language
Marka?
and language, markup language and
Oh,
CSS,
yeah.
custom style sheet,
Markup language. CSS is?
custom style sheet. Now, what we are going to do here is we are again going back to browsers. So what browser was? Browser was a is glass. It's a telescope. It's a microscope which is used to look into some website. So we can say I have lovely house as it's being shown in the right side in this slide, and the windows are nothing but browser because I can peep in from Windows to see what is inside it. Or you can say the browser is something, a telescope set up 1 kilometer away from the house and is pointing to that house. What next? Now, very important thing, we need to understand this. So, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can see whatever is being shown in the browser window address bar. So, what is I see as I am talking to you via StreamYard. So I see https colon www.streamyard.com/ blah 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 from string. Now these this complete string right from http till end, whatever we type in browser, we call it URL. Again, let us not go into the technical nitty-gritty, but URL can be considered as four part. 99.9% URL in modern world start with https. S means secure. What does it mean? When I am peeping into my house from telescope, what is happening? My There is a communication, there is a data exchange between my eyes and the house. So I am observing the image of house via my eyes and being processed by the brain. When I point my browser to www.yahoo.com, what is happening? Browser is trying to look into what is there in www.yahoo.com or Yahoo website or Microsoft or Rediff or Times of India, whatever it is. Your website, my website. So this whatever is being typed is normally known as address or more correctly URL. Now, URL contains four components. Number one, HTTPS. It means secure. What does it mean? It means whatever information I am sending to the website or whatever information I am receiving from website is highly secure and on the way. It cannot be compromised. No one can steal. Earlier used to be HTTP and HTTPS. The first word in this address bar used to be two. Many of them were HTTP and HTTPS. So HTTPS was a privileged feature, and people had to pay a lot for that. So if we think of a decade before, or even more earlier than that, we would see highly secure websites, sensitive websites, government websites, banks website used to be only HTTPS. But now it is a de facto, most of the website are HTTPS. This ensures that your data to and fro is not being compromised. Your privacy is ensured. The second thing is, as we learned yesterday, that .com in this case, what I see in the StreamYard.com is basically top level domain. TLD we learned yesterday, and StreamYard is the website. And after that, we find not many characters. For a layman, it can be jumble of characters, meaningless, but they means a lot. They means a lot to you. They means a lot to you can say the browser, and via browser to us. I will tell you an example. I will try another analogy. I am observing a palatial building via telescope from a distance. So there can I watch all the entire building structure at the same time? No. I may be interested in this room, this wall, that wall. Again, but there is a lawn in front of the building, then I am interested in this portion of lawn, that portion. In terms of internet browsing, what we are trying to do, we are trying to access different resources. So in this website, YouTube website, what you are observing, YouTube, the YouTube name and the icon is one resource. There is a window where where you are watching this video, that is another resource. Each string is a resource, each image is a resource, each section is a resource. So what happens is, when we are moving around the building, around the scene, around an object, what we are trying to access different resources. Now what happens is, when you click, what happens? When you click, you see some changes. Suppose, for example, I log into Facebook, and then what I do, I click my image, or simply click the website name, Facebook F. What happens? Where I will land? I will go to my home page. But when I click your name as my friend, or if I click the name of the group where I am the member, then what happens? I go to that group, inside that group, or I see your profile page. If I click your name, if I click your image, profile image, I go to your page. So what is happening is, we are accessing different resources available in the website called facebook.com. So if you observe, if you are curious, now after this conversation, you go back to wherever you are, you love browsing, and then click the links here and there, and monitor what is happening in the address bar. You will understand what is URL. So URL says which server I am accessing, on server which page I am accessing, on in which page, inside the page what resources I am accessing. So this is universal resource locator, URL. Now, where website lives? Where is my apartment? My apartment is in JP Nagar. Where is JP Nagar? JP Nagar is in South Bangalore, and so on and so forth. Yesterday we discussed this. Now, where these website resides? So, for example, where is YouTube.com? Where is StreamYard.com? Where is spnigam.com, my personal website? Where would be your website.com, etc. So, these website lives yesterday. We also touched, now we are going to talk. They are being served by a very powerful computers called server machines. And where are the servers? Servers are aggregated together in a certain location. You can think of a warehouse. Same thing, you see the right side image. So you can see on the right side there is a shelf, and on shelf there are small, you can say, uh, different houses, models of different houses are kept. What I am trying to indicate here is, on each server, there may be hundreds or thousands of websites. It's like a colony. JP Nagar doesn't house me alone. It houses lakhs of people. There are lakhs of apartments, houses in JP Nagar. Same thing, each web server may host, I'm using the word hosting because we are going to talk about hosting soon. So each server may host multiple websites. And what is surfing? So what is surfing? Surfing, in fact, IT is the latest technological trend. So IT terms have been brought from multiple places. So for example, we call yahoo.com is a website, you will call facebook.com is a website, so many things linked in. But what we call internally, we call them property. So assume that you go to weather.yahoo.com, or you go to anything, ad.yahoo.com, um, flickr.yahoo.com, and so on and so forth. So what are different buildings? These are different buildings. And what we call them technically? Properties. So it's like, again, I can give you the analogy. So assume that I am owner of a entire residential building hosting 40 apartments. So I am the property owner. What is the property? Property is the building. Inside that property, what are the different properties? Each apartment unit is an independent property, and overall is a apartment building. Therefore, we use the word properties also. And then when we move from this property to that property, we what we call is surfing. So I start my browser, and then I go to facebook.com. I spend 10 minutes there. Then I close that and I log into LinkedIn. I spend some time there. I go to YouTube, watch a movie for 10 minutes, and so on and so forth. So what I'm doing, when I am using browser, my telescope, to watch and watching my surroundings, this building, that tree, this river, etc., etc., we call it web surfing. Navigation. Therefore, now when we say surf, when I am moving here and there, most important thing what is required for me is how to move, how to proceed. Suppose, for example, I want to go from my house to airport or railway station. So, what is most important thing? I should know how to go. That is the vehicle or walking, whatever. And then another how is how to reach to the destination. Term, how to reach to the destination, how should I go access facebook.com, then how should I be able to log into facebook.com, then how I should be able to connect to Indukant Angira's homepage.com, and then how to find him, and then how to send a request to him to connect me as a friend. All these things requires what? Walking, as if I am traveling from point A to point B. This is known as navigation. It is very important thing because when at this exercise we are going to build our own website, this is very much important. So a website which is very easy to navigate is considered to be the good website. Now, what we do, because all of us are accessing website in some or other way, on either on laptops or in the devices, small devices. So there are three things which we'll be using repeatedly to navigate. Number one, menus. Second, links, and third, buttons. Now, what I'm trying to say here is this slide is simply showing you on the right side, we can see different apartment, different houses. They are not apartment, they are most of them are houses, some of them may be two-story buildings or whatever. So this is what we are trying to understand. Each website, each personal website is unique, and it is my choice because it is my website. It's my choice how I want to make it. Suppose, for example, we own, all of us own a 40-60 plot in a some layout or in some colony. Now, does it mean because all of us own the same size plot from the same colony, in the same colony, does it mean that we should have the same houses? No, it's not like that. Therefore, when we say personal website, it is my creativity, it is my need, it is my imagination which will lead me to create the website of my own choice. What toolbox we are going to use? We are going to use only three things. Only three things. Number one, we will use the ready-made code template. The next slide I'm talking about that. And then we are going to use a tool to customize that template. We will have a template, you can understand, we will have a ready to use website kind of thing. Only thing, you have to change your name, you have to put your image or set of images, you have to put your content, you have to talk about yourself. So we are going to use a toolbox called editor. We are going to use a ready to use website, ready to be customized website called template. And then we are going to use a tool which is required to move your website from your laptop to the internet. That's it. We are not going to talk about any of these tools in detail, but remember, we are going to use only three tools. Bootstrap. Just again, consider Bootstrap as a bootstrap. This is, you can see, pre-fabricated, pre-designed website. The example I'm trying to show, there all of these four images are of a living room, of a house or an apartment, but they are all different. They are, all of them are a living room. They are different. We are going to use ready to use templates, and templates will be based on your choice. You can choose template 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, and then you will customize that template. Second thing, choose a template, customize it, and then host it, make it live. That's it. We are going to do. Preview is basically, remember, we discussed in the beginning of this presentation that we are going to use only two technologies: HTML, which creates the framework of your website, and CSS does the color painting, denting, all those kind of things, look and feel, those kind of things. So here I am trying to show the basic HTML structure, and these colors you see because of that CSS, etc. With this, we stop our learning session today. I would appreciate we can spend a couple of minutes if you have any question. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Satyaprakash. It was very informative and educative. And I hope I'm very curious to know the further steps. I mean, the theory which you explained, how to do it practically, how we will, which will start with my own domain name, which I've already registered. I'm very anxious to get it, make a website of my personal, with my poems, with my name, with my photographs, and so that how soon I hope we will be able to do it soon. And uh, yeah, it was very interesting. I over to Mr. Kirti Rawal. He can also speak about this, his views.
Uh, Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
you are.
Okay. This was a very informative session, and what I felt like it is very exciting because, like, person who are from non-technical background have always like interest when they see a website, they feel like building their own. It this learning will provide them an understanding of how things work, and they just don't need to get deeper into all the tools. By learning this session, they will it will help me and all my like friends also, whom will I will be sharing this tutorial with them, and it is very informative. And I would also request, like, if there is any written article or resources for other members, like, who like reading, so it will be helpful for them also.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
So with this, we come to an end of the session.
Will
Thank you
you
very much.
Yeah.
provide like any resource, like, people who like reading
Yes,
and work
yes,
in that?
yes, yes. What we are going to do next week onwards, I am going to provide some resources, some links where you can download the stuff, and also I am going to provide a web where you can register yourself, and then you can access the knowledge, tips, tricks, and contents of this, whatever is being shared, whatever is being taught,
Okay.
by registering to that website and then logging. It's like your courseware. It will be courseware for rest of the future. It will stay.
Yeah.
So I'm process of building that infrastructure, but that would be live from the next week. And next
Yes.
week also we will also decide on the different templates. So I will offer you a few templates, and then
Huh.
you can choose whatever template you want to choose, and then we will start working on that. So
Okay.
next week onwards, mid of next week will be like a getting our hands dirty.
Huh.
So we'll
That will
make
be
our
nice.
we'll be making baby step every session. Small things we'll add. How to add the
Yes.
photo, how to change it, how to do this that, and we'll learn little tricks. We'll learn. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Okay.
I'm
Thank you.
still ending the session.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.